What is going on, internet world? My name is Tommy. You probably know me as Rivet, and I'm your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying, flyest looking team on YouTube. And we are here today with our Week 4 battle of the NPBA Kanto Division against the Commissioner of the League, Jode, and his team, the Ann Arbor Ampharos. This is going to be a fantastic match. Welcome to the workshop. Alrighty guys, we are here breaking down our Week 4 matchup against Jode and the Ann Arbor Ampharos for the Week 4 of the NPBA. His team is really scary, very top heavy, but it's going to be a tough match. So without any further ado, let's hop into this. His first mon is Celesteela, an incredibly bulky, steel and flying type, fantastic stats across the board. A little lacking in speed, but pretty much it does everything. It can be very offensive with its great move pool, stuff like Flash Cannon, Air Slash, Flamethrower, Heavy Slam, Earthquake. They all hit very hard. It can use Meteor Beam in conjunction with Power Herb to get a boost and start sweeping, which is very scary. It can also autotomize with something like Weakness Policy with its great defenses, which can be really scary as well. It's also a fantastic defensive mon. Just Heavy Slam, Flamethrower, Leech Seed, Protect sets are so easy, and they're such a pain in the butt to deal with, just because Steel is so incredibly bulky with a fantastic defensive typing. Definitely expecting a more specially defensive Celesteela this week. It's his best switch into Tapu Lele. Even something like a Specs Thunderbolt won't be doing a whole lot, and then he can pivot out into Garchomp and do a whole bunch of stuff. So definitely expecting, just Heavy Slam, Flamethrower, or Air Slash, Leech Seed, and Protect. Kind of messes up my entire team. I don't have a whole lot that can kill it, so I gotta play around it the best I can. Next up is Garchomp, an incredibly scary Dragon and Ground type. A fantastic mon, base 130 attack, 102 speed with very respectable natural bulk and a fantastic typing. It's obviously an incredibly scary setup throughout with Swords Dance and Scale Shot. Earthquakes hit incredibly hard, Stone Edges, Fire Fangs. Does get solid special attack and move pool as well with stuff like Draco Meteor, Surf, Fire Blast, and Flamethrower, Earth Power, and Scorching Sands. It's a great stealth rocker. It can run more defensive stats with something like Rough Skin Rocky Helmet. It just kind of does it all. And I don't have really good answers for Garchomp at all. I'm definitely expecting a Swords Dance Scale Shot set this week. It totally messes up my team. I have pretty much nothing that takes it on at +2. So pretty much the game plan, if that happens, I just can't let it start setting up. If he gets like to +1 in speed, it's pretty much game over just because its speed tier is so strong against me. So I hope I don't lose to Garchomp, but it's going to be a struggle nonetheless. Next up is Tapu Fini, a very bulky water and fairy type with the Misty Surge ability. A fantastic mon, such an incredible typing. It runs offensive sets really well with something like Choice Specs or Choice Scarf with Hydro Pump and Moon Blast. Gets other coverage moves like Knockoff. That's essentially it. It's a very good defensive pivot with just a fantastic defensive typing in the Misty Surge ability, protecting it from status. It can taunt stuff, it can defog hazards away, it can just scald to spread some status outside of turn. It does a whole bunch of stuff, so definitely expecting Fini this week. It's just a reliable check to a bunch of stuff on my team. Misty Surge protects him from Spore, from Amoonguss, or status from a couple of other things on my team. And it's just a very strong mon this week. It's his best switch into Urshifu, so I'm absolutely expecting just a fully physically defensive Tapu Fini, probably with Kibia Berry. If he's something like, leftovers just for recovery and he forces me to lock into Poison Jab and he goes into something else, that's totally okay. But definitely expecting Fini this week. Next up is Victini, an incredibly scary mon, an all-around powerhouse. A fire and psychic type with the Victory Star ability and pace 100 across the board. Victini is one of the strongest mons in the format in my opinion. It does literally everything, especially with the addition of heavy duty boots. It runs offensive sets incredibly well. Choice Band and Choice Scarf are obviously super easy with V-Create. Gets a fantastic move pool, stuff like Bolt Strike, Zen Headbutt. It can U-turn, just gets a whole bunch of great moves. It can run special sets as well with something like, Blue Flare, Psyshock, and Psychic, Grass Knot, Energy Ball. It just gets so many moves. Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam. So I have really no idea what Victini's going to be. It's definitely coming. I'd probably expect either a mix set, like a mixed Scarf set, or a specially offensive set, just because one of my better answers to it is Gigalith. Gigalith won't take a whole lot from something like a V-Create, but he could obviously have, Scorching Sands or Energy Ball. That even in Sand, that would hit me for a pretty good bit. So definitely worried about Victini. I have pretty much no switch-ins to it. So I'm really hoping it doesn't come, but it's probably going to. Next up is Hawlucha, an incredibly scary flying and fighting type with the Unburden ability. It's an incredibly scary cleaner in the late game. It can Swords Dance up, start acrobatics, and close combating stuff. It also gets Thunder Punch and Throat Chop and Fire Punch for coverage. He can run Flying Gem acrobatics as well, which is a scary option to pop Unburden and boost up acrobatics as well, which is something I have to watch out for. He's also been shown to run some other stuff that's not, just Misty Seed, Hawlucha sweeping in the late game. He's been shown to run some funky stuff. And because I do have Lele and I could, shift the terrain a little bit, maybe Misty Seed set doesn't come. He could be something else, maybe with Flying Gem or something of the sort. But, Hawlucha definitely scary. I have a solid answer to it, I guess, kind of in Aegislash, but he can run various coverage moves. That would hit me pretty hard, especially after a Swords Dance. Next up is Drapion, a very bulky poison and dark type with the sniper ability. It's a very, very bulky Pokemon, base 110 defense, I believe, and very solid offensive, 95 in both attack and speed. It's a great Toxic Spike user. It can knock off, Poison Jab, Earthquake. It's got a very solid move pool. It can Swords Dance up. It can fish for crits with something like a Sniper Scope Lens set with Cross Poison, which is really scary. It's just got a fantastic defensive typing. In this match, I would probably expect, a Toxic Spiking set with something like Knockoff and Cross Poison, just because my grounded poison is a Moongus, and it's scared away pretty hard by pretty much everything else on this team. It definitely doesn't want to take on Victini or Steel or Hawlucha, so probably expecting a Toxic Spike set, which is pretty scary. And I don't have a super fantastic removal on this team, especially not something that wants to match up against Drapion. So very scared of Drapion. I'm hoping it doesn't come, but it probably will. Next up is Mega Manectric. Again, I don't have super reliable answers to. Very, very fast at 135 base speed and 135 special attack as well. With the Intimidate ability, it's got a pretty mediocre move pool. Pretty much it only has Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Flamethrower, Overheat, and Signal Beam. It can run some funky stuff. He ran Roar on this, which is kind of weird. So, maybe if Mega Man comes, it could be something kind of funky, but probably just expecting a standard one. Something like Thunderbolt, Overheat, Volt Switch, and Signal Beam to try to hit Gigalith, or maybe Toxic to go into Gigalith as well. That's totally a viable option. Next up, he's got Appleton, a pretty bulky Grass and Dragon type with the Thick Fat abilities. Pretty bulky at base 110 HP and solid defenses and special attack. Very, very slow at base 30, so maybe he brings it just as something to switch into something like Dracovicious Vicious Friends or something of the sort. But, Appleton, it's a pretty solid mod, but it doesn't match up super well against my team. He could bring it just to kind of come in against a Gigalith, as something like an Apple Acid would do a whole lot. It also switches in on Sandslash very, very easily. So, I'm not really expecting Appleton, but it could come. But if it does come, I have to be wary of it. It could be a Leech Seeding set. It could be an offensive set, as it does have pretty reliable special attack. Or it could be something like a Gluttony set or something of the sort, or Ripen with some weird berry. So, gotta watch out for Appleton as always. Next up is Regigigas. Regigigas, obviously an incredibly scary normal type, but it does have the slow start ability. It does get Substitute and Protect now and can run some funky stuff, but it kind of faltered last game. I don't think he'll try it again, especially when I have stuff like Dracovish and Urshifu and Tapu Lele and Aegislash just kind of sitting there that can stop it from getting out a slow start, and then just kind of can mash it with pretty much anything. So if it does come, I have the pieces to work around it. I definitely don't think Regigigas comes just because my front four kind of macerated. So, and then last but not least, he's got Kabutops, a pretty cool rock and water type, a solid hazard setter. It can also remove with Rapid Spin. It's got the Swift Swim ability and the Weak Armor ability as well to boost up its speed, and a pretty solid move pool with stuff like Liquidation, Stone Edge, Knockoff. It can Aqua Jet for priority. So again, Kabutops, it could come this match. It handles a couple of my stronger stuff pretty well. It can Aqua Jet to catch some of my faster stuff. But honestly, I think he's got better mons to fill the slots this week. So without any further ado, let's hop into what I am bringing this match. Leading us off, we got Accio the Aegislash running a physically defensive set again this week with the Leftovers and the Stance Change ability, Gyro Ball, Shadow Sneak, Swords Dance, and King Shield, fully physically defensive. This is my main and only switch into Hawlucha. Hawlucha at +2, something like a Fire Punch or a Throat Chop, does around 50%, but if he's popped on Burden, Gyro Ball crushes that thing just because he is so fast, and I am the relaxed nature with 0 speed, so Gyro Ball does an ass load, especially after a Swords Dance. After a Swords Dance, Shadow Sneak looks fantastic if Psychic Surge isn't up, as you'll see. It catches stuff like Victini, it hits that really, really hard. It can hit Hawlucha if Gyro Ball for some reason doesn't kill if he's a bulk up set. It hits Mega Main, and then King Shield is just solid for, forcing him to Swords Dance. I can Gyro Ball on an SD or something of the sort, or lowering Victini. If he goes for something like a V-Create, I can switch in more safely with something else if he's -1. So I'm really liking Accio this week. I really needed to shut down Hawlucha in the late game. This is also a decent switch in to something like Celesteela, as he won't be doing a whole lot to me with something like a Heavy Slam. Flamethrower could hurt, and Leech Seed does go through King Shield, so if he's an offensive set and he doesn't have Flamethrower, then Accio can try to take it out, but otherwise, Shadow Sneak and Gyro Ball aren't going to be doing a whole lot. Next up, we're rocking Lele Pawns, the Tapu Lele, coming back with another Choice Scarf set this week in the Psychic Surge ability, Psychic Moonblast, Thunderbolt, and Shadow Ball, max special attack, max speed with the Timid nature. This helps me speed tie Drapion if he's fully invested. Choice Scarf for some reason. Psychic hits this entire team pretty hard, except for something like Drapion, obviously, Steela, and Victini. Moonblast hits pretty much everything else, notably that Appleton. Thunderbolt is there for that Steela. I am Choice Scarf, so if he's fully specially defensive, it only does up to like 40%, which is kind of ridiculous, and if he's Leftovers and Leech Seed, he can recover that back no problem. And then Shadow Ball is there for that Victini. Victini definitely doesn't want to take 2 Shadow Balls if he's something like offensive Choice Band. So I'm really liking Lele in the late game. This is a decent answer to Garchomp. If he's something not Choice Scarf or not boosted, I can come in, threaten it with a big Moonblast, force him into Steela, maybe double out into something else or try to get some momentum going. And if he's at +1 or +2 or something of the sort, I have a pretty neat option you'll see in the back. That's going to be one of my keys this week. That can maybe surprise Garchomp if he's set up in the speed department. Next up, We got Atrocity the Dracovish coming back after a little hiatus, rocking a Choice Band Strong Jaw set this week. Vicious Rend, Outrage, Ice Fang, and Facade. Max Attack, Adamant, 244 in speed, and then 12 in defense. He's got pretty much no switch-ins to, Bandit, Strong Jaw, Vicious Rend. He doesn't have a Water Absorber. His best switch-in is Feeny, which is probably going to be a Kiwi Berry set anyway to handle something like Urshifu. So he doesn't have leftovers recovery. If he's got speed on that, then okay, Vicious Rend will just bop it anyway. And if he's fully physically defensive, then 2 Vicious Rends just kind of kills it. This is my main way of dealing with Celesteela. I can switch in. He can do a little bit of Leech Seed Protection shenanigans to chip me down a little bit and get some HP back. But even if he's fully physically defensive, which I don't expect him to be, Vicious Rend just kind of destroys it. He's got no answer to this thing. Obviously, his best switch in would be something like Appleton, which would quad resist Vicious Rend, but Bandit, Outrage, or Ice Fang, especially coming off Strong Jaw, Appleton is just kind of dead. So he doesn't have a switch into this. Facade is there if I get burned or parried or something like that, which would be pretty bad. But Atrocity, I'm really liking this week. It works conjunction. I think it's going to be really, really good with my next mon, as you'll see. Shout out to the name for this little strat. So building off that, rocking next, we got Revelation 19, the Tornadoes, rocking a support set this week with heavy duty boots and the Prankster ability, Icy Wind, U-Turn, Tailwind, and Taunt. Max HP just for some bulk with 72 in defense and 184 in speed. I'm rocking Prankster Tailwind this week in conjunction with Atrocity. His team is very, very fast. I noted that in the power rankings. And I don't have Trick Room on this team, which is a major bummer. But if I can outspeed the speed team, I'll be really impressed. So I have Icy Wind. That hits Garchomp really hard if he's not speed boosted. That'll do a ton. It also slows down something else that might want to come in, something like a Victini. I can try to pivot into Atrocity. He'll be slower because of Icy Wind, and I can mash that thing or anything else with a Vicious Rend. U-Turn is there in conjunction with Tailwind. I can set up a Tailwind, try to pivot out or just die. Get into something like Dracovish or Lele if he's like set up with Garchomp. I can do a whole lot, and since it doesn't target anything, it won't be blocked by Psychic Surge, so I can do that in the late game even with that up. And then Taunt is just there for something like Drapion setting Toxic Spikes. Celesteela, if he wants to set Leech Seed, I can keep him from doing that, go safely into Atrocity, and then try to mash him stuff. So really liking Rev this week. I really hope the Tailwind works. You'll know Tailwind works if the thumbnail is just some horrible mashup of like Atrocity and Lightning McQueen saying ka-chow. That I'm telling you that right now. So I'm hoping that'll happen. Next up, making his debut, we're rocking Slipstream the Sand Slash, running a fully physically defensive set this week with leftovers, Seismic Toss, Knockoff, Rapid Spin, and Stealth Rock. This is one of my primary switch-ins to Celesteela, especially if I know that it's a defensive set. I can Rapid Spin, free myself from Leech Seed, knock off its leftovers, and then start Seismic Tossing for consistent damage, and hopefully he won't be able to heal up. I can set some Stealth Rocks, which are pretty solid against stuff like non-boots Victini. It also hits Celesteela pretty hard on the switch, and it makes chipping that down a little bit easier. This is also a decent switch into Garchomp. It'll do a whole lot to me, and Seismic Toss or Knockoff will make me take a bunch from something like Rough Skin. But I can maybe Speed Boost, maybe try to knock off something on Victini if he wants to be aggressive and come in, or knock off a potential Seed or Gem from Hawlucha if that wants to come in and be aggressive. So I'm really liking Slipstream this week. It's a decent check. It also makes it so that Mega Man can't Volt Switch around my team. And I know something like an Overheat does a ton. It does up to like 75%. But, just allowing him from not being able to Volt Switch is free, which is a really, really nice option. And then last but not least, also making his debut, we got Mr. Owl, the Lickitung, rocking another fully physically defensive set with Eviolite and the Oblivious ability, Ice Beam, Seismic Toss, Wish, and Protect. As incredibly stupid as it sounds, this little Lickitung over here is my primary switch into Garchomp. If he's not Swords Dance and he's Life Orb, an Earthquake only does like 38%. Ice Beam does over half, and then I can threaten that pretty hard. I can Wish and Protect, try to do some shenanigans, heal up the rest of the team, heal up Slipstream or Accio, or heal up Atrocity to try to get it in for a free mash on something. Seismic Toss is just there for consistent damage against something like Steela or Tapu Fini that's taking the Ice Beams no problem. So if this works, I will be ecstatic. If Mr. Owl the Lickitung kills a Garchomp, I will do a little happy dance. Like, I'm calling it right now. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But will it be a funny surprise? I really hope so. So that's the team we are rocking with. This is going to be a really tough match. He's got a really scary team, but hopefully I can get the Tailwind strat to work. If it does, I think I have a solid shot, but I need Atrocity to do some really good work, and I can't lose to Hawlucha. So with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. Alrighty guys, we are about to hop into this Week 4 match against Jode and the Ann Arbor Ampharos. You can see the 6 I expect him to bring up on the screen. Celesteela, Garchomp, Tapu Fini, Victini, Hawlucha, and that Mega Manectric. I could definitely also see that Drapion in there somewhere. Maybe either over something like Hawlucha or Mega Main. But you've seen the 6 I am bringing and why I am bringing them. If you haven't, go check out the Team Builder. Without any further ado, let's hop into this match. Okay, we do see Appleton and Mega Main. What do we not see? No, Hawlucha is cool. Alright, Appleton over Hawlucha. Everything else, that pretty much makes sense. I guess Appleton is there for Vish. And or, you know, something like, I don't know. Appleton's kind of whack to see. I'll have to play around that. Okay, from a lead perspective, he could definitely lead Mega Main. He could also lead Victini or Garchomp or Celesteela. He can pretty much lead anything. Probably not Feeny. But he sees no Urshi. But seeing no Hawlucha is a shame. I should have brought Urshifu. Urshifu would have smacked pretty much this entire team. Bar Feeny, but I really thought Hawlucha was going to come. You know, that's okay. Aegislash is essentially useless. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. Maybe a win con if I can try to chip Victini down and get a Shadow Sneak off. But I don't hate leading Atrocity. It's not the worst lead. Actually, not really. I don't like leading Atrocity. I can lead Slipstream, force him to overheat with Mega Main, go into Mr. Owl, try to take that. I can also just lead Mr. Owl. That's not the worst. I don't really want to do that. I could also lead Accio. I'm going to lead Slipstream. See what he leads. It's probably Mega Main or like Victini, either of which I'm okay with. But if he leads Mega Main, then I could live an overheat. So I'd probably... I don't have Earthquake, but he doesn't know that. Overheat would do a lot. If I had Earthquake, it would obviously kill. I mean, maybe not after like an Intimidate. Actually, yeah, Earthquake wouldn't kill, so I would have to probably go into Mr. Owl, try to take it. But I'm going to have to use Vish very well and a lot this game. I'm going to have to predict on... I want to see how much Appleton's going to... Appleton's not going to take anything from Ren. If he's Fizdef. Yeah, Vicious Ren doesn't do anything, but I can safely Ice Fang. I mean, but Feeny as well. I guess Appleton... It's going to be a 50-50 on whether I click Ice Fang or Outrage. I don't want to lock into Outrage because obviously Feeny can just come in super free and kill me. Or force me out into something else. So I'll probably click Ice Fang. But if I were to bet that's his switch in, if he goes into Feeny as well, that's not the worst case scenario. I can go out into Mr. Owl or Aegis. Alright, he's going to lead Genie. A lot of things he could have totally kills me. V-Create does pretty much... Probably, if he's Choice Guard, it depends on what set he is. But I think I just want to stay in and click Knockoff. I mean, if he V-Creates me, it'll do under half. Or it'll do about half if he's, like, Scarf. If he's Banned, it'll obviously do a lot. If he's got Energy Ball, that would kill me. Oh god, I hate Victini so much. Energy Ball, if he's, like, Timid, Max Special Attack, doesn't kill me. I need to get some sort of semblance on what this thing is going to do, and realistically, this is here for kind of steal it and setting rocks, and that doesn't do that very well. I'm going to click Knockoff. He's just going to U-turn out, that's fine. I don't get any, I get a little bit of intel. From the amount that did, he's Choice Scarfed. Yeah, he's Choice Scarfed. So, he's Choice Scarfed. What max attack it looks like. Golly, he's going to go into steal it. I'm going to knock off this thing's leftovers, probably. Oh, I knocked off Specs. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not what I was expecting, but... Oh, boy. A Choice Spec Celesteela, okay. Wow. That's not what I expected in the slightest. Holy crap. Well, he's got no... The worst thing he could do... Well, he doesn't have Leech Seed, which means that Slipstream is now dedicated Victini fodder. He could Air Slash, he could Flash Cannon, he could Flamethrower. What is his last move? Air Slash, Flash Cannon, Flamethrower. I have no idea. His last move is probably Energy Ball. Or he's like Specs with Leech Seed, but it must be Energy Ball. I should be able to take any hit with Mr. Owl. And I can scout what he's going to do. I can also go... No, but the Flamethrower is too obvious sitting there. I don't want to take a big Air Slash on Atrocity. I'm going to go into Mr. Owl and try to toss off a Wish. He's going to go for Air Slash. That did 30. Yeah, that was a max roll. I'm going to just toss off a Wish, see what he goes for. If he goes for it again, I can also try to pivot into Vish and threaten hard. Because that was a max roll on Modest. which means he can't really hit me. He could also pivot out into something else and try to do some damage. Because if he flinches me with a Wish, I'm in trouble. I'll toss off a Wish. I'll try to pivot into Vish afterwards. He could also switch out into something like Victini. But realistically, Licky Tongue is not touching a Celesteela. I don't care if it's uninvested in any defenses or HP. It's a Licky Tongue. I mean, S-Toss, you know, it does consistent damage. It'll do 30%, which is pretty rad. But if he flinches me, I'll be in a pretty tough spot. He's just gonna go hard to Appleton. Run. Okay, Appleton. I guess I will. I'm gonna go into Rev. I threaten pretty hard. I can take any hit. He's gonna go for Apple Acid. That's fine. I can U-turn here. I threaten pretty hard with anything I go for. He probably goes into Steeler or Victini. I'm just going to U-turn. If he stays in and goes for Draco, that's fine. I'll just go into Aegis if he stays in. I think this thing gets Earth Power. I got to check that. But if I was like Nasty Plot offensive, I would be putting on a ton of pressure here. I probably should have brought that, but I wanted to try some cheese. It gets Earthquake, not Earth Power. So he could have that. I bet he does, but I am physically defensive. Gyro Ball will do literally nothing to this thing because he is so slow. I can also pivot into Lele and just go for T-Bolt. Or just fire off a Moonblast. The thing that irritates me about Lele that I only realized, like, preparing for this battle, is it doesn't get tricked. Because I would have loved to trick Steela. I mean, I Choice Scarf. But realistically, he's offensive anyway, so that would have been bad. But let's see how much an offensive Steela is taking from my Lele. I mean, Thunderbolt clean 2 shots, but he could easily go into Manectric, get a Lightning Rod, or go into Garchomp. So I would probably stay in and go for Psychic, just because it hits it fairly hard and it covers a switch. But offensive Steela is whack as hell. like not even offensive Steela. He's gonna stay in. I'm gonna go into Aegis then. He's probably gonna click Draco or Recover or Leaf Seed. I'll go into Aegis. He's gonna click Apple Acid again. Okay. He sees I'm leftovers. I can SD and try to scare him into doing something, but I don't think that's a good idea. I'm gonna pivot back into Rev and reset that situation. If he goes into anything else, that's pretty okay. I can try to set up a Tailwind and start cheesing, or I can, you know, just pivot again. He's gonna go into Steela. Well, I know you're offensive. The question is, what do you go for? Let's see how much anything is gonna do to Fish. Air Slash does a lot if we were to go for that. But then I'm in a situation in which I start spamming Ren. Yeah, I'm gonna U-turn into Fish. Because I gotta get Dracovish rolling. Otherwise, his battle is going to not happen afterwards. But all that chip on Mr. Owl already is bad because Garchomp is ready to just start mashing my face in. But seeing Choice Scarf Victini in offensive, he's going to stay in. Yeah. Please don't go for Air Slash, go for Flamethrower. No. 46. Whatever, I'm going to click Rend. If he goes into Appleton, that's not the end of the world. I can pivot into pretty much anything. If I went for Ice Fang, Appleton would die after 2. But I don't want to do that. I just want to click Rend. Just because if he predicts that and he goes into Lele, Victini, then he's getting 2-shot. Because the Outrager Ice Fang is incredibly obvious. Because he knows I'm Strong Jaw because I didn't bring Sand. So he knows that something is getting bonked here. If I were to bet, Appleton probably still comes in, or he lets Steela go down. But I gotta try to Wish back into Atrocity because I need this thing around. Yeah, he goes into Victini. You're not gonna like this. Oh, 68. Alright, he's leftovers, but that means he's speed invested. And I have to switch out. He's leftovers. Yeah, that was a max roll. Okay, so he's got speed for Adamant Dracovish and the rest thrown into bulk, and that was a max roll. So if I stay in, I will die. I gotta pivot. I can go into Mr. Owl and try to Wish. That's probably what I gotta do. 2 Moonblasts shouldn't do a whole lot. So I'm going to do that. He can't, like, Toxic me or anything, obviously. Oh, he's going to double into Appleton. That's fine. Ice Beam might tickle. He's Thick Fat, obviously. But I don't want to do that. I'm going to just fire off a Wish here. I can try to heal up, you know, Mr. Owl. I can click Ice Beam. I can do a couple different things here. But I want to keep my Ice Beam tech a secret. A nice little surprise to tickle Garchomp if he wants to try to set up in my face. That'd be the funniest bit if he went into Garchomp right now and tried to, like, sweep me. And I could just be like... But I don't think that's going to happen. He's probably just going to go into Celesteela or Victini. If he goes into Teeny, that's bad. Because then I just kind of have to kill Slipstream. Hope he doesn't have Energy Ball. He was definitely Choice Scarfed, and he was attack invested. So, worst case scenario is he's like naive Energy Ball, and he locks himself into it. Or he can just U-turn out into Feeny or Appleton, but then I can go into Mr. Owl again. Because even with no... He's going to go into Victini, that's okay. I can go into Slipstream. I should be able to live any hit, and I can heal it up. I can also go into Atrocity and try to live a hit, but if you went for Dazzling Gleam, that'd be bad. I can also Protect and scout what this thing's going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Because I know he's Choice Scarfed, I know that. He's just going to go for U-turn. That's totally okay. Let me toss off another Wish. Mr. Owl, already doing some work. Get a little licky tongue. Alright, Chomp comes in. Please God. Please God. This is going to do over half. Please God. This should work. Come on. Come on. Please, Licky Tongue. My heart is pounding so hard. Please work. Come on, Licky Tongue. Oh, he sets rocks. Oh, it does 56. That does so much. All right, I'm clicking it again. All right, he's gonna switch out this time. Obviously, he's gonna go into Celesteela. But holy crap, that did so much. Let's go. Oh, I can Seismic Toss for damage on Celesteela coming in. I can toss off another Wish and try to get into Atrocity or into Slipstream and get these rocks out of here. All right, he's just gonna go into Teeny. That's okay. I'm gonna click. I can click Seismic Toss. I can Protect and Scout. I'm going to Protect and Scout. It's my safe play. He can double into something else on the Protect, but I got to keep Mr. Owl healthy. The Chomp showing Stealth Rocks shows that he's not he's probably a more defensive set, but that did a lot. That did 56, which is more than I expected. So he could be offensive with... oh, no. Okay, so that was a min roll on Uninvested, it looks like. Or that was a max roll on, like, specially defensive. It's like fully HP invested and no defense, or no, or fully physically, yeah, fully physically defense invested. He has no SPDF. That was a max roll on that. I don't know what he would need SPDF Chomp for. Realistically, it doesn't do anything. But Victini, if he's Choice Scarf, a V-Create does 40%. God. Like a max roll, 40%. Oh wait, no, he's like not max attack. Okay, 43, big difference. I'm just gonna click Seismic Toss and see what he goes for. I'll get my HP back. If he Final Gambits me, I will live it. If he tricks me, I will cry. I should probably Scout for Trick. Yeah, as much as I just want to, do something, I gotta Scout for Trick. D-Gleam, totally okay. He's locked into that. He's gonna switch out into what? Probably Celesteela. I can go into Accio. I can also double into Atrocity. Or I can just fire off another Wish and see what he pivots into. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go into main. I'm gonna go into Slipstream. I can live any hit, pressure pretty hard, get my HP back, and then Rapid Spin. Because he doesn't have a Ghost type, and I want to try to get these Rockies out of here. I can also try to set up my own Rockies, which will chip Teeny pretty hard. He's gonna overheat. Oh, he's just Flamethrower. Totally okay. Oh, he burns me. That's okay. I have Seismic Toss anyway. Not super concerned about that. He can stay in and go for it again. I threaten pretty hard. I'm gonna go for a Rapid Spin. I just want to try to get these rocks out of here. And Sand Slash does literally nothing for me at this point. He's gonna stay in and go for it again. That's totally okay. Get these rocks out of here. He's gonna Volt Switch now. But I'm just gonna go into Mr. Owl because he doesn't have a whole lot that handles Mr. Owl at this point. I can try to Wish back into something. Here comes the Volt Switch. Oh, he just goes for Flamethrower again. That's okay. He burned Mr. Owl, too. What the hell, man? 2 10% burns. That's a pain in the butt. But again, you know, consistent damage. It doesn't hurt my Ice Beam. But that's really annoying. Hopefully those won't be the end of the world, just because they are on my 2 Seismitoss mons, but at the same time, Chip on Sand Slash and Mr. Owl majorly sucks. Just because, you know, it makes my, you know, just Wish protecting way less viable. But he's going to Volt Switch out here, probably. I got to get back into Vish and start doing some stuff. Because I can't just sit here and stall all day with Mr. Owl. I'm accomplishing nothing. I got to get safely into Vish. I gotta just get a little bit more chip, because Feeny doesn't take 1 more. Appleton doesn't take... Appleton takes 2. So I need chip on Appleton, and then it's Tailwind go time. I get 2 kills. I can hopefully reset and get 2 more. He's gonna Volt Switch. Yep, 33%. I'm gonna get a Wish. I can protect. He can go into Chomp or Feeny and start setting up. If he goes into Feeny, I'm gonna have to go into something else to keep him from, you know, Calm Mining or something of the sort. Probably go into... Rev. Yeah, he's gonna go into Feeny. I don't know what this thing's gonna go for. I'm going to click Seismic Toss, because he shouldn't be able to kill me. If he starts setting up, that'd be pretty bad. I'm gonna stay in a Seismic Toss. He could taunt me. He could also taunt me. But, you know, Seismic Toss is a pretty okay play. I'll get a bunch of my health back. Moonblast. Oh my god, I lived on 1. He's very invested. Please don't let Burn hit first. Thank god. That did a lot of damage. And 28. So he's especially offensive. Or maybe I'm just stupid. No, that shouldn't have done nearly that much. I don't know how Vish did so little with that doing that much. I really don't understand the damage. I can kill Feeny right now, or I can go into Accio or Rev or Lele. I don't hate going into Lele. Psychic hits pretty much everything. He'll be forced to go into Sanctuary over here, and then I can pivot. I'm really confused about the damage on this guy. I don't know how that's doing. He either doesn't have speed, or he doubled into Appleton, which means he doesn't. He would have clicked Moonblast if he had the speed. So he's got some defense and then a bunch of attack, I guess. But I don't really understand. I can Wish again and protect, which is what I'm gonna do. 30. He gets his attack drop. That doesn't matter. And now I'm gonna just protect. Get some HP back. How much did the last Seismic Toss did? 29, so... Realistically, I could have killed him right there, but I need Mr. Owl for Chomp. He's gonna go into Victini, that's okay. I'm going to go into Slipstream and sack it off. Rocks are gone. Hopefully I can keep Chomp from happening, and I need this thing to Mr. Owl to stay around. I don't want to just protect and lose some HP. He can try to double into something else. I mean, but at the same time, what do I care? Like, what is he going to do? I'm going to lose 6%, and then I can Scout and Wish. I'm going to protect. Do that. I mean, you doubled on the protect into this guy, so you're not going to double again, I don't think, unless you go back into Feeny. But, like, what are you going to do? If he's bluffing the Scarf this entire time, and he's Boots, or something of the sort, then I'm going to be sad. But there's no way he's not. The way he's been playing it, just allowing me to Scout with Protect. He's playing it like he's Choice Scarf. Protect, he's going to go for a V-Create. Into Slipstream we go. And then I get to go into Atrocity and click the funny move. Yeah. Bye-bye. Yeah, my play is Atrocity. I get to click. I can click Ice Fang. But I want to try to Wish back into that thing. Well, Appleton definitely comes in this time. And he won't stay in. But Appleton can take an Ice Fang and then he'll pivot. And if he goes into Appleton, I can go into Rev. Or Accio. I care a lot less. Or I can try to go into Lele and put on pressure. No, it's Dragovish time. I'm going to click the move. The Appleton comes out, that's okay. Pink. 30. He's probably going to recover here if I were to bet. I'm going to go back into Mr. Owl and try to keep him healthy. Yeah, he's just going to recover. That's alright. A Wish here. He can Apple Acid me, but my primary goal here is just trying to recover a little bit of HP. How much did the last one do? Not a lot, I don't think. But I gotta kill that Victini. I gotta get this thing out of the way. That's the thing. Had I brought Urshifu, the game would be a lot easier right now. Just because I could just start mashing Wicked Blow because he's got literally 0 switch in now that Feeny took a Vicious Friend. But I really didn't think Appleton was coming. I thought Feeny would have probably just been his blanket answer, but I was wrong. Mega Main comes out. A Wish. I'm just gonna protect, get my health back. No Volt Switch. Nope. This is where the burn is really just being the worst. I gotta get into Atrocity. And I gotta get into Rev as well. And Lele. Lele looks good, I just gotta get it in. The Appleton is a huge problem. I'll throw off another Wish. He's just gonna Volt Switch out, that's fine. How many wishes do I have left? 8. Oh, it's 7 now. No, I just used one. But I'm definitely losing. I gotta protect and scout. Your turn. I click Seismic Toss. Go into Feeny, please. Garchomp comes out. Damn. I'm gonna take Rough Skin. Probably Rocky Helmet as well. No, just that. I got a Wish. Obviously, I could Ice Beam, but I'll just... Season, click ZQ. You can die. Alright, well, Garchomp's dead. I got 1 down. And that lets me Thunderbolt with Lele freely. Main can come in, obviously, but then I can just sack off Mr. Owl. Because as good of a job that he's done, yeah. This stupid guy comes out. Question is, what do I care about more? Accio or Afterthought over here? I mean, or Lucky Tongue? I think it's his time to go down. He's tried his best, but this is not working. He's just gonna Volt Switch. I'll click Seismic Toss. Yeah, he's gonna kill me. Well, Lucky Tongue tried his hardest. He stalled a bunch of turns. I'm sorry about that, but I should have wished. And because that Seismic Toss didn't matter, Ice Beam would have killed. That was a mistake. He goes into this stupid guy. I'm gonna go into Rev. I'm gonna click Tailwind. I gotta start doing something. Because he doesn't know anything about Rev yet, other than I have U-turn. But best case scenario, I mean, there's no best case scenario, because Appleton's sitting at full. Which means I'll have to go into Vish and click Ice Fang. Or just go straight for Air Rage. Then Feeny comes in for free. So I can't do that, I'll lose Vish. Just gonna go for V-Crate. I lived it. That's obnoxious. Damn, I shouldn't have put so much bulk on this thing. He goes into Celesteela. It's okay. Alright, well, I get to go into Atrocity. I gotta click Ice Fang. He could stay in, though. And he would probably kill me. Air Slash can't kill me. And then... I'm gonna click Ice Fang. Please hit it. 54. Alright, you're gonna double into Sanctuary. But 2 looks like it kills. 2 probably also kills Feeny. He could also go into Teeny as well. That's what I bet he does. I bet he goes into Teeny. Because then Tailwind is over. So I'm going to go into Rev. Because what happens if he goes into Victini? Or what happens if he stays in and recovers? He's a god. But I don't think he's gonna do that. I think he's gonna switch out. If he goes for Apple Acid or Draco. Oh man, because Rev dies to 1 more move. I can get another Tailwind off. And then at this point, he's got no switch-ins. I gotta stay and click Ice Fang. I think I can sack off Accio. It's doing nothing. It's just sitting here. If he goes into Victini, and then I can just go in and click Tailwind. Try to get as many turns out of it as I can, but then he can go into this thing and start doing some dumb stuff. Because I need Rev to win this game. I need the Tailwind. Looks like Ice Fang. Nope, I was wrong. 22. That one's gone. Who wins me this game? Accio or Lele? Probably Lele. Lele does a lot to this entire team with a little bit of chip. Accio is not doing a whole lot. I'm going to go into Accio and just try to kill it. I can get back into anything. I can get back into Rev. I should have made that double. I don't know what I was thinking. I knew this thing was going to come in. And that's probably going to lose me the game, but I'm an idiot. Age is going to come out. He's going to die to a V-Crate. Oh, he's just going to U-turn? He's going to get into Appleton and recover, and then the game is over. That sucks. That is terrible. I mean, this thing is Choice Scarf. He's going to V-Create my face in. Yeah, our Mega Main comes out. Okay. I can go into Lele. He's just going to Volt Switch, probably. I can SD. If he just Flamethrowers, he's just going to kill me, though. I mean, Shadow Sneak does nothing to this thing, especially after Intimidate. Oh, yeah, I'm Intimidated. It's nothing. How much does it do to Lele? Lele can take any hit. He'll go into Sanctuary. I gotta go back into this thing. I'm just gonna Volt Switch. Oh, you go for Flamethrower. I can click Thunderbolt, or I can click Psychic. Celesteela. Steela doesn't love multiple Psychics. It definitely comes in. Or he could just Volt Switch out. He hasn't seen anything on me yet. Psychic has a very small chance to kill this. I'm just going to click Psychic. Oh, he goes into Victini. Okay. He's going to get rid of my terrain. Psychic is still going to pick it off. Alright, Teeny comes out. Into Accio we go. And Vish is so close to being able to pick up some stuff. And then Lele can kill Main. This thing probably doesn't die to a Shadow Ball. Undertaleland. Oh yeah, no, it does like 60% max. I'll need chip on that. I need a Shadow Sneak from Aegis. What's my play? If he stays in and goes for V-Create, I go into Atrocity, I click Rend. 2 of those will kill Appleton. Then Main comes out. I go into Accio, sack it off. Then go into Rev. Try to kill clean with Atrocity. I'm gonna stay in and let him kill me. Oh, he's gonna U-turn. This isn't gonna do anything. He's just gonna go into Steela. Yeah, Steela comes out. I got a crit. That doesn't matter. I'm gonna do it again. Best case scenario, he misses a Flash Can. I misses an Air Slash. Oh, he's got Gig Drain? Okay. I can also try to pick up the game with Accio. I just can't let Appleton heal. Because I do have Swords Dance. And Shadow Sneak will kill... It doesn't do enough, though. That's the thing. Main and Teeny are too high. I need Fish for those. 18%. Gonna go for Air Slash. That's a attack Beast Boost. I gotta play this super right. He's speed invested, obviously, but he was modest. I know that. He better be modest. Air Slash, 2 Licky Tongue. He lost his specs. He had no item. That is clear. He did 29.8. The maximum amount of damage he could do with an Air Slash to Licky Tongue is 28.1, which means he physically has to be modest. He cannot be anything else. He is modest. Which is 221 speed. Vish is sitting at 247. I can go into Vish here, kill this thing. Victini comes out. No, because I need Appleton. Let's see how much Aegis will do to this thing with a Sneak. Sneak does enough. Icy Wind has a chance to kill. It's not a good one. Actually, that's a lie. He's at 15%. It's an 83% chance to kill in combination with the 5% chance of it missing. I don't know how good that is. You know what? I think that's my play. Because I can do something afterwards. Icy Wind will kill Appleton. I can Tailwind in either of the other things' faces, and then I got Accio sitting there. Rev, if this doesn't kill my man, I'm going to be so sad. I'll be so sad. Oh, he could actually have physical bulk on, like HP investment. I just threw. If he's got HP investment, which he probably does, how much did this thing take from things? Lele was doing 24 with a Psychic outside of terrain. It was 18 to 24. Yeah, he's got bulk. Oh yeah, I did 19. Oh, the 24 was Giga Drain. I'm an idiot. Well, I just threw. I got a U-turn into fish. And pray he doesn't kill me with something. Flash Cannon. That's a lot. How'd that do so much? I don't know, but my play is Rend. If I, for some reason, calc something wrong, then... Oh, he's at +1 special attack, that's why. Oh, that was a massive misplay. I didn't even think to account for him possibly having HP investment, which is stupid because it's a Celesteela. But whatever. Man, I'm just... Those are two very dunderheaded plays I've made. Well, I can still pull this back. I just gotta figure out how. Alright, Steel is gonna go down. I should have just sent in Vish from the beginning. I don't know. You know what? On the assumption that Icy Wind had a solid chance to kill, that was the best play I had. But I just goofed up because I'm stupid. But Victini's gonna come in. It's gonna click V create because I can't beat the combination of those three. Main comes out. I gotta try to get the best differential I can. I'm gonna go ahead. Major mistake. An absolutely major mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. He's gonna go into Appleton and heal and then totally game. Oh, he just goes into Victini. Alright, well, I'm gonna click King Shield. V create at -1. Does a lot, it won't kill me. I can Swords Dance. Doesn't do enough to Mega Main though. Yeah, it does 68 max at -1. Well, I let him hit me with that. Shadow Sneak doesn't kill. I mean, a +1 Shadow Sneak, but then he'll switch out. I'm gonna go for King Shield. Oh, he just goes straight into main. Good play. He's just gonna click Volt Switch. I'm gonna click King Shield again. Just to give myself a little bit of health back. He's gonna go for Flamethrower. Click SD. And I'm gonna click Shadow Sneak, but the game is over, unfortunately. I would need... The only way I possibly win this is if I crit Appleton with a Fish's Rend. Or actually, how much is Outrage gonna do? He'll be able to cycle the Intimidate, though. I think. Yeah. Flamethrower. Alright, well, that's GG's, I think, unfortunately. I'm gonna click Tailwind. He's just gonna switch out. Oh, he's gonna Volt Switch? Okay. Well, I have 3 turns of moves. Man, if only I wasn't Choice Band. If I was, like, Expert Belt. But Appleton takes this no problem. Mega Main is gonna be able to cycle the Intimidate. at least once. He'll be able to cycle it twice, and then an outrage won't kill him. Appleton comes out. I gotta go into Atrocity. Now I gotta click outrage, I think, is my play. Yeah, Vicious Rend is nowhere near enough. I gotta click outrage. Oh, he was Habanberry. Oh, I still killed it. Okay. Well, this is gonna be close. Victini's at 78. Yeah, Victini definitely lives a -1/1. It's a roll, but it's not in my favor at all. Dang, so close. I think this is going to be so close. I mean, I have a chance to kill, but it's minute. If I only got my Stealth Rocks up, this would have been a different game, but that's incredibly tragic. Yeah, Victini lived it. I get confused now. It doesn't matter. He lived that either way. I'll click outrage again. I even hit myself. Didn't even get a 1-0 out of it. That's sad. I totally flubbed that. That's my own fault. I don't know, a bunch of the plays I made were just wrong. But I knew Teeny was going to mess me up. But GG's to Joe. That was a really fun game. Even though I think I threw that. But, you know, that's the game sometimes. You win some, you lose some. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you were enjoying the NPBA so far. It's been a super fun league. Moving along pretty well, even with this loss. We are still doing pretty solid. I think we're like 3-1 plus a good chunk. So we'll be back next week looking to get back on the right track. And so thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you next time. Take care.